We are live here at the Cookport Fairgrounds in Commodore, Pennsylvania for the Cookport Class Truck and Tractor Pull. On today's episode, we have the Outlaw Street Gas 4-wheel drive trucks along with the big block high output 4-wheel drive trucks. They're going to be putting on a great show for you, and the action starts right now. And kicking off today's show is the Outlaw Street Gas 4-wheel drive truck division here. We have 6 trucks competing in the class here tonight. Leading off is Matt Mosier, a 1976 Ford he calls White Whiskey. Matt's from Clarion, Pennsylvania, and he was actually the 2022 points winner here for this class. He did very, very good against his competition last year, and a lot of people are saying this is going to be the truck to beat here in 2023. So let's see what he can do. Oh man, and 326.92 was his distance there, but Matt decided to drop the hook and come back at the end of the class here. So next up is going to be Bud Harris, Ice Cream Money, a 1987 GMC. One of the top running trucks in this division as well. He's a former Northwest PA Pullers points champion. So let's see how he can stack up here in the Outlaw Street Gas division. Green lights on the sled, and he's ready to take off.
Pretty cool, huh? So it's in its infancy, only 1 year old.
Man, that truck just did not want to lay down flat there. He struggled to keep a nice smooth pull there at the starting line, but 276.31 is going to be the mark to beat. Not a bad run for him. Now, these trucks can be up to a 550 cubic inch motor. A lot of these guys are still in that 470 to 505 range. Bud's one of the smaller motors in this class, so for him to get out there and put up a nice distance, very respectable. Next up is going to be Justin Rhodes, an 83 GMC. He calls this truck It's Good to Have a Goal. And this is actually the first hook he's going to have on this truck in over a year. In 2022, he was working on getting a new engine built for this truck. Just could never get around to getting it done, waiting on parts and everything else. So here he is, the first run of the 2023 season. It's good to have a goal. Oh man, and what a run put down. 305.79, gonna be your new mark to beat in the class. And he came off nice and easy, slowly got into the throttle, and was able to put out a monster distance there. What a run put down, and a great run for the first run on this engine. Next up is going to be Brian Rupert from Rural Valley, Pennsylvania, 1981 Ford. Brian's been pulling for a very long time. He used to pull in the big block high output division, the Pro Street Gas class as it was called back in the day, with the blue Ford. And now he's pulling in the street class, a beautiful looking Ford truck there. And he's been one of the top running trucks any pull he goes to. So let's see how he can stack up against these guys here. This isn't his usual class. He usually pulls a class down, more of a street, enhanced street class we would call it. Let's see how he does. and spinning out hard at the end. He took a different line down the track. Not sure if that lost him distance or not, but he had to try something different there. Had a little bit of bounce there on the takeoff and was able to smooth it out and finish strong. 295.54 is going to be the distance for him. Good enough for second place so far in the class. And this is the guy to beat here. This is Dave Millard, 1981 Chevy. He calls Fredneck, a crew cab truck here. A little bit longer wheelbase compared to some of these other trucks in the class. So let's see if it works out for him running the Truxas tires. A lot of these guys are going to be running the Truxas Interco tires or a BF Goodrich tire. The compound on them is a little bit different. The tread, the pattern on them, a little bit different as well. Let's see if it's the difference maker here. Oh man, distance to beat was 305.79. Did he do it? And he's going to be clean out there, 334.90, a monster run put down. He had one of the smoothest takeoffs so far tonight. I think that's what probably got him out there so far. And that's going to be a tough mark to beat for sure. 334.90. Next up's going to be Ira Bennett, 1977 Ford. He calls Steal This from Polk, Pennsylvania. This is another longtime puller in this class, a top-running truck on the Northwest PA Pullers circuit. Backing into the sled now. Beautiful-looking Ford truck with the step-side bed. He's running a different tire as well, a Nitto Mud Grappler. Very aggressive tread in the front. Let's see what he can do. Man, and that truck just did not want to light up and go there. 258.35 gonna be the distance for him. Not what you want to see. It just seemed like the truck did not want to go, but at least he was able to get it going A to B down the track to stay close in the points race here for the year. And next up's going to be the first puller coming back. This is Matt Moser, 76 Ford, the 2022 points champion. The on the mark sled's ready to go. Here he comes, White Whiskey. Man, did he do it. 324.14, just about 10 feet shy of the winner, but a respectable pass put down by Matt. Only 10 feet away from the winner and 10 feet away from taking over the points lead for the year. So not a bad run. And that's going to do it for the Outlaw Street Gas 4-wheel drive division. Dave Millard, 334.90. Matt Moser, 324.14. Justin Rhodes, 305.79. Brian Rupert, 295.54. And Bud Harris, 276.31. Next up on tonight's show, we have the big block, high output 4-wheel drive trucks. 19 trucks are scheduled to compete in tonight's division. What a monster class, and these guys are coming from all over the place. Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, Rhode Island. There's so many different states being represented. And here's Adam Tice, 75 Ford, a top running truck out of Eastern Pennsylvania. And let's see what he can do. And spinning out hard at the end, it's what you want to see. That truck always lays down a really nice clean run. 294.19 gonna be the mark to beat now. A respectable run put down by Adam Tice. He waited a long ways to get into the throttle there. Not sure if that was a driver error or the truck just did not want to come open. But towards the end, he spun out hard and set the mark to beat. And next up is the Mistress, Jerry Mostoller, a 69 Ford out of Friedens, Pennsylvania. This is a top running truck here. Multiple wins at Listy Grove, multiple wins all across Western Pennsylvania. Now he's pulling against the top running trucks on the East Coast. Here he goes. And man, what a monster pass put down by Jerry. 326.71 gonna be the mark to beat. And he came off, and as soon as he got into it, he started veering off towards the left side of that track at about the 150-foot mark. And that might have been the difference maker there. He took a completely different line down the track, set the mark to beat. Next up's Jason Waddington, 1974 Ford he calls Violet, from Nicholson, Pennsylvania. This is a new truck here for the 2023 Appalachian Outlaws season, and here he goes. .281.15 gonna be the mark to beat. He got a little bit squirrely there on the takeoff, but was able to recover, laid down such a nice smooth pass the rest of the way, and he kind of took that same line down the track as well, just did not have enough oomph there at the end to get going, and 281.15 is where he stops. Next up is Jerry's brother Terry Mostoller, a 1977 Ford called Roxbury Lunatic from Roxbury, Pennsylvania. Here he goes. And that's going to be good enough to put him in the third place spot right now. 289.25, and that truck was going all over the place down the track. Probably lost a lot of distance right there, as you can see him scrolling back and forth, but the truck sounded healthy. He was able to kind of recover there at the end and lay down a strong finish. Next up's going to be Thomas Whiteford. This is a new truck for the 2023 season. He calls it Flirting with Disaster, from Northern Cambria, Pennsylvania. This is going to be his first run on the truck. Let's see what he can do here. 326.71, the mark to beat. Here's Flirting with Disaster. And man, for the first run down the track, I don't think he can be too upset with that. 279.89 gonna be the distance for him. And a nice A to B pass to get his pulling career started here against some of the top running trucks on the East Coast, so very respectable. Next up is Chris Brossman from Newmanstown, Pennsylvania, a 1970 Chevy. And Chris has made quite a name for himself over the years in Eastern Pennsylvania. This is his second year on the Appalachian Outlaws pulling circuit. Oh man, not what you want to see there. He had such big track speed and momentum going past that 100-foot mark, and he ended short there. 241.06 gonna be the distance, but man, did he have a lot left in the tank there. You don't like seeing that. And coming all the way from Rhode Island, this is Doug Aruda, 1979 GMC he calls Amateur Night. A top running truck out of that New England area and a top running truck on the Appalachian Outlaws pulling circuit. Green lights on the sled, and here he goes. Man, and that's a nice A to B pass, good enough for number 4 so far in the class. 273.47 for Doug there. A respectable run put down for one of the smallest engines in the class. Good enough for number 4. Next up is Dennis Nicholson, a 1971 Chevy called the Wild Thing from Normalville, Pennsylvania. This is one of the top running trucks coming out of Western PA with multiple points championships. Multiple wins in the class already. Let's see what he can do. And he's going to slide up in there, 320.32, good enough for second place right now. And he came off hard, got in it quick, and ran right down the center of that track most of the way. Finished off on the left side and finished strong, 320.32. Next up is going to be Jason Barron, a 1979 Chevy he calls the Flying Farmer. Somerset, Pennsylvania native, so a lot of these pulls are very local for him, but he's been pulling for a very long time. Here he goes taking off. And man, what a strong run put down, 313.96, so he's going to be out of the top 5 for right now, but a very strong pass. Spinning out hard. Can't ask for a better run there. Next up, going to be Carl Barnhart, Midlife Crisis, a 1970 Ford from Needmore, Pennsylvania. Just a few years ago, he won a points championship with Full Pull Productions. He's been a top 5 truck with the Appalachian Outlaws. Can he win it? And a broken axle is going to set him back pretty far in the class. A monster run was about to be put down by him, but he's going to be stopped short at 273.74. Not what you want to see here. But it looked like he had a great run going for him down the track. He ran a great line, was going to follow the current leader out there, and got stopped short. Next up is going to be Ronnie Unger, a 1985 Chevy, the Undertaker from Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. A top running truck on the Appalachian Outlaws circuit, number 2 in points in 2022. Here he goes. And did he do it? Yes, he did. 331.10. Gonna be the new mark to beat here on the track. What a run put down. The Undertaker 1985 Chevy out of Mount Pleasant takes the lead. Got a lot of track speed near the middle portion of the track, and that shot him out there to take over the lead. Next up is going to be William Campbell, the Scalded Dog Truck, 1976 Ford out of Churchville, Virginia. Just got a win earlier last week in Craigsville, Virginia. Let's see what he can do here. And spinning out hard at the end, he gave it all she had. 298.08, a good run laid down by that truck there. Always a solid running truck. Nice A to B pass down the track. He got into it at about half a truck. The clutch was out and he was full force going down the track. Veered off towards the left side and put down a solid pass there. Next up, going to be Matt Moser. He just pulled in the Outlaw Street Gas class, coming back out on the track with the Judgment Day Ford, a 1979 Ford to be exact. Let's see what he can do. And what a great run down the track. We'll watch the replay here. 329.12 gonna be the distance and good enough for second place right now. What a run put down by Matt Moser. Let's watch it again. As you can see, he started more on the right side of the track compared to some of the other trucks, but he slowly veered towards the left side. This is where he picked up a ton of track speed right there in the middle portion of the track. Good enough for second place there. Spin it out hard. Great run. Coming out on the track now, this is Scotty Kiefer, a 1986 Chevy from Connellsville, Pennsylvania. He calls this truck the Misfit. Now, this truck hasn't been out on the track for a number of years now. This is the first official hook on this truck on the Appalachian Outlaws Pulling Series circuit. Let's see what he can do. Oh man, and something is broken under that truck. As soon as he caught into it, you could just tell something was not right there. Coming out on the track now, this is the 73 Ford known as the Bandit. The driver's Gary Chambers from Bremen, Ohio. A top running truck in this class. He has many track wins and event wins with this truck with the Appalachian Outlaws, but not a points championship yet. Let's see if this is the start of his championship year. And puttering out at the end, it seemed like he had a really fast gear in that truck, came off hard, but the track just did not like it too much. A lot of drivers seem like they're underestimating this track here tonight, but man, what a good run still. He went A to B down the track, lots of track speed there towards the middle, but at the end it just didn't have enough wheel speed to keep digging there. 318.63 for Gary Chambers. Now up on the track, this is Charlene Schilling with the Disorderly Conduct truck, a 1954 Chevy, a new truck for 2023. Let's see how she does. And a cool looking truck, a fan favorite, but they could just not get it going down the track the way they want to here tonight. 235.59 gonna be the distance for Charlene Schilling and the Schilling pulling team there. Disorderly Conduct. 235.59. Coming out on the track now, this is Tracy Troy, a Chevy called Blue Past You, a top running truck here on the Appalachian Outlaws circuit. She placed in the top 5 in the points last year, and after a couple winter upgrades, they're ready to get things going again for 2023. Let's see if she can take the lead. And not a bad run put down by Tracy Troy. 313.17 going to be the distance. And she stayed more towards the middle portion of the track. Got into it pretty quick, but not enough distance to get into the top 5 here tonight. But nonetheless, a great run and a great run to start the season in the 2023 points race. And the last puller in the class, this is Jim Rapchak from McDonald, Pennsylvania, driving a 78 Chevy they call Slightly Twisted 2. This truck has not been out for the past year or so because they've been waiting on an engine. They went down to Florida earlier this year and got a couple wins down there, and now they're back in Pennsylvania. Can he do it here? .304.64 gonna be the distance for him. Not a bad run. A great way to start the year for him. And he spun out hard there. Tried getting up there near the leader, but not quite far enough. And we got Scotty Kiefer back out here running exhibition. They thought they might have figured something out different to try to get the truck down the track. But they had another attempt here and it just wasn't right. And that's going to do it for the big block high output class here at the Cookport Clash. Here's your top 10. Ronnie Unger taking the win with the Undertaker, 331.10. Matt Mosier, 329.12. Jerry Mostoller, 326.11. Dennis Nicholson, 320.32, and Gary Chambers rounds out the top 5, 318.63. Of course, you can see the full results list at AppalachianOutlawsPulling.com. And that's going to do it for tonight's episode, guys. The Outlaw Street Gas Trucks, the big block high output, a great showing by both classes and a great start to the 2023 points race. And it's just getting started. Don't forget, every Thursday at 8 p.m. we drop a new episode of the Appalachian Outlaws Pulling Series. This is a great way for all of you guys to keep up with the events if you can't make it out in person. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next episode.